Hey everybody, welcome to Ibarra Lending Podcast. I'm here with Anthony Bernard from Pinnacle State Properties. Hey Anthony, how are
Hello,
you, buddy?
hello, Edgar. How you doing?
Welcome, man. Welcome.
It's
And I
nice to
know
be
it's
here.
been a while, and glad to have you here. And obviously, we talk a lot about what we see out there in the market, but one of your primary focuses and your specialties is first-time buyers. So we want to talk about what you think are the three most important things that come across from yourself to a buyer so that they know the expectations and feel comfortable with the process.
Okay. So, first of all, if a buyer or someone is looking to buy a property right now, they've never bought a property and they're thinking about it, that's really the first step, is
Right.
that thought. I mean, you have to have the thought. And usually after that thought, it starts to turn into so many other things,
Right.
right? They say the universe, whatever you want to believe,
When you're ready, you're ready.
when you're ready, you're ready. It just starts to synchronize things. You're going to start seeing things happen. You're going to start, you're on this different frequency. So you're going to start meeting people. You're
Right.
going to start hearing things. And so I think that's really where it first starts, is really nurturing that thought.
It's the whole white car thing, right? I bought a white car, now you see 100 white cars.
Right.
You want to buy a house, all of a sudden all the commercials start popping up about buying a home. Your friends telling you about buying a home, and now your mindset is, okay, maybe I should buy a house.
Oh yeah, I remember when I was 15, 16 years old, and the Honda CRX, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to get the license. I got the license. I wanted that car, and everywhere I looked, it was like there
There it
and
is.
there, and it was just everywhere. So that's really what happens when you start having that thought of buying a property, is that you're going to start seeing a lot of things that are going to synchronize to make that happen for
Yep.
you.
What's the next thing you think?
Okay, so the next thing that people need to do is they need to take action, right? Sometimes you get this analysis paralysis, is that you're thinking so much, you have all these doubts about whether you can, whether you can't. I don't want to be embarrassed.
Right.
I might fall short. What if I don't get what I want? And so these are all the things that you are thinking about that actually keeps you right in that moment of just thought. But you really do have to take that thought and
Right.
put into action. And so the next thing that you need to do is you need to find a person that you can work with, whether it be, I like to say, my name is Anthony Bernard, your
Right.
real estate matchmaker. That's really what I do, is I match people with the right people to get the job done. And so the first thing would be a lender,
Yes.
such as,
You have to get to their why. Like, find out at that moment what is their biggest motivational factor in moving on to the next step. of buying a home.
right. And again, at the end of the day, that loan qualification really does help dictate which direction we go.
Right.
Because sometimes we might find that we just need a basic entry level into real estate, right? Finding a property that we might have to fix, right? It might not be the dream home. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't buy their dream home the first time,
100%.
but they do understand the process after that first home. They renovate the property, they make it better, they pay it down. We have appreciation that happens. So, maybe that's when they're going to take that 20, 30, 40% of appreciation when it does happen and shift it over to a dream home. Especially right now, the markets go up, they go down. But one thing that we do know is that the property values are going to continue
Yes.
to increase just because of inflation, and
100%.
how our money is just not backed up by the gold, right? And so, so what's great about being or having a hedge with inflation is a property,
Correct.
something that you're going to live in anyways, and something that you're already paying for. Except, if you're renting, you're basically paying it for the owner
landlord,
of that
yeah.
property. Why not be the owner?
100%. So,
Yeah.
okay, so final thought. What is the most important one you think of any aspect of not necessarily convincing a buyer to move forward, but really showing the light of why they should try to be a homeowner?
Okay. So first off, being a homeowner is great. I mean, I was a renter all my life, and when I shifted over, the first home that I actually lived in is the home that I actually purchased. And when I say home, meaning a single family residence with a backyard, front yard. And one of the things that I absolutely loved is the autonomy. I was able to. It wasn't part of an HOA, of course. There's definitely parameters with that, but I was able to make decisions. Right, renovate my property when I wanted to, paint it when I wanted to, make the backyard the way I wanted it to be. So there's a lot of great things, but not to mention the fact that when you own a home, there's like several things that you benefit from owning a home, right? One is appreciation, right? And that's something that you don't get when you're renting.
Right.
And appreciation is basically you buy it for a certain amount and you sell it for more, right? And it's that gap that exists between you paying a mortgage, which is the difference, is you paying into the principal, driving that loan down, and then the appreciation driving up. So that big gap there, man, that's yours.
Yeah, I always call that as basically a built-in savings account,
Right.
possibly for retirement, or like you said, to be able to move up into another property once you're ready to sell and buy into the next house.
Exactly. Not to mention also tax savings, right? So that was something that I was able to also benefit from, is the tax savings. Like, wait a minute, how does that work? Well, guess what? If you're paying interest into a loan or a mortgage, well, you get to take that right. You get to write that off, and that's usually monies that you're actually giving to Uncle Sam, just because when you rent, you get a $40 tax credit. But with like a mortgage and interest, wow, you really do get to offset, right? And so these are things that you get to also benefit from in owning homes, not to mention savings and investments. And, if you were, let's say, for instance, you wanted to get into real estate because you wanted to be an investor, there's also depreciation and things that you can also benefit from in owning homes. So at the end of the day, it gives you the freedom to express yourself without having to be regulated by everything else around you.
And the other thing I think about too is psychologically, you don't have to worry about your landlord selling the property underneath you and asking you to move out.
Right. Not to mention also freezing, the mortgage. If you have a fixed mortgage, you get to freeze that. And, over time, you'll make more money, hopefully. And that mortgage will now start to get smaller and smaller.
Refinance.
Lower
rate. So
exactly.
So obviously, these things are all important. Thanks, Anthony, for coming by. We'll see you again, my friend. This is all information, not necessarily us throwing numbers out there, but just to give buyers an idea of the importance of understanding why it is important to buy a house, right?
Yes.
And your ideas and goals for them to understand, that you're there for them. Thanks, guys. Make sure you reach out to Anthony Bernard. His information is going to be here at the bottom. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Looking forward to helping you all. See you on the next one, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yep.